have a little secret for you. Your prime consumer may be defined not simply by who they are, rather by what they believe and prefer.
First things first, what is a consumer? A consumer is a user of goods. In other words, the person eating your product. Throughout my videos, you'll notice that I make the distinction between the consumer and the customer. Again, the consumer is who eats your product, whereas on Clams, Bread, and Cheddar, when I say the customer, I'm referring to the entity that purchases your product to sell wholesale or retail, which is a distributor or retailer. Time and time again, I see brands who are afraid to define a specific consumer profile for fear of alienating everyone else. Now, I understand the rationale. However, you need to understand how costly that would ultimately be. It's impossible to appeal to everyone. Now, rest assured, there are definitely ways to communicate to a specific group while not completely shutting out others. Consumer segmentation is when you separate a broad group of consumers into segments, or subgroups, that have similarities based on shared characteristics. For instance, the needs, attitudes, and lifestyles of middle-aged female consumers differs from those of college-age males. In the same vein, the needs, attitudes, and lifestyles of a married middle-aged female consumer with children differs from those of a single middle-aged female consumer without children. Let's take a closer look at consumer segmentation factors such as demographic, geographic, psychographic, and behavioral. Demographic segmentation is defined as the quantifiable statistics of any given population, identifying your consumers through factors such as gender, age, marital status, race, and income. Formerly used as the sole basis for defining a target consumer, demographics is increasingly becoming viewed as one of several factors when determining a consumer base. Geographic segmentation is grouping consumers based on where they reside, defining the parameters by area, such as neighborhoods, cities, metropolitan areas, states, regions, and countries. Psychographic segmentation is when consumers are fragmented by their interests, values, habits, attitudes, emotions, personality traits, and preferences. Segmenting by psychographics helps brands to develop and market products based on the exact needs and expectations of their consumers. Behavioral segmentation focuses on the purchasing behavior of the consumer, which allows brands to target consumers more efficiently and predict patterns in purchase behavior. This element of segmentation makes it easier to identify future loyalty based on actions such as purchase frequency. When defining your consumers, you also need to have a deep understanding of their need states and moments of consumption. A consumer need state reflects what motivates a consumer to eat your product. Is it to give them energy, to curb hunger, or is it simply for comfort or indulgence? Moments of consumption answers the question of when are your consumers eating your product? Is it for midday snacking, part of a daily lunch, or for entertaining guests? The more you understand these elements, the better you'll be able to communicate and build a relationship with your prime consumer. Authentically setting yourself apart from the other brands in your category is a necessity. This is why brand positioning is so crucial. Positioning is how your brand differentiates itself in the minds of consumers. Positioning isn't about touting product features and benefits. It's about the perception of your brand's value and the consumer experience.
Which element of consumer segmentation do you think you'll rely on the most? Leave a comment below and let me know the direction you plan to take. And in the meantime, don't forget to like and subscribe and hit that notification bell. Until next time, bye.